Gen Z is aging like shit, and here's why. It's the stress, guys. You were too stressed growing up. It's the same reason presidents age exponentially faster when they're in office. Your environment was too stressful. It causes organisms to develop faster. When millennials were in school, when we were little kids, we were in peak society. Late 80s, the entirety of the 90s, early 2000s. That was the peak of Western society. And in this peak, very safe time to be a little kid. The greatest trauma of our childhoods was 9/11. And that was over there. That was a distant, far off thing, unless you were in New York City, in which case it was closer. But the war itself was over there. And then the financial crisis happened as we were all graduating. Like, we grew up in a very, very relaxed time. Gen Z didn't have that advantage. You guys grew up, 9/11 had already happened. Your country's already at permanent war. You then are going through a financial crisis, so your parents are stressed out. They're stressing over money, stressing over keeping the house. They then pass this stress onto you, and then you go to school where you might get shot. And instead of having a childhood where your body could relax and develop normally, you had an expressed puberty because you were going in a fight or flight state constantly when you should be relaxed. And that ages you. That ages you fast as fuck. You essentially are a bunch of rabbits. You are in a constant high anxiety state. And that makes an animal develop faster because it's telling the body it lives in a world where it's not likely to live particularly long, so it needs to grow up faster so it can reproduce faster, and then they can spread its genes. It is just how organisms respond to their environment.
I definitely figured out why Gen Z is aging faster than millennials. I've narrowed it down to the only difference between millennials and Gen Z is that they had access to blue light at a younger age than we did. The screens that we were even on, I don't think they necessarily had the same LED blue light because this is, I think, something that came with smartphones. Before, computers were like old TVs with boxes. I need to look into this. I'm not an engineer, but what I am good at is figuring out issues and solving them. What I gathered is that because Gen Z had access to blue light at a younger age when their body was developing, key factor here, hormone development, collagen development, you're growing, like your ligaments may be stretchy. This might be why Gen Z is kind of tiny. Like, you guys are tiny people. Every time I see a Gen Z person, I'm like, am I a giant? Like, I feel big and I have excess collagen. I don't know if there's a correlation or causation there, but we're kind of just rolling with it. This is called an ADHD thought loop. Thought string. But I can imagine that this impacted the production of collagen, which made the production of collagen less than the typical human being, which would lead to collagen degrading at an earlier age, depending on the structures of the collagen, whether those are impacted or not, because the structures could in fact be impacted. On the molecular level, it could possibly function different than other generations' collagen before, especially when we get into radiation. While people talk about how radiation isn't a thing, it is. It's a thing. Is it enough to impact us? I mean, so far, no. But Gen Z is the first generation to have technology during their time of development. I mean, millennials did too, but we had less available technology. I had hormone issues. I had a ton of issues during kind of my childhood. And that could have been related to me being on the computer more, because I was on the computer more than most people. But I was also a fan of Red Dye 40. So like, I think that was my problem. But with Gen Z, it's a generational issue. So I really do think that the blue light technology has impacted the way that humans develop. And because of the increase in radio frequencies, as well as radiation that is emitted from cell phones and other types of devices at this point, because we have so many technological devices, especially earbuds, I can imagine if they're using earbuds, there would also be interference within the energetic field of the body. This is science, our bodies have energetic fields. Then I believe that this would lead to a generation aging quite rapidly compared to those that came before them. There's already research that shows that blue light does impact the way collagen is produced in the body and our melatonin production, which is a hormone from the pineal gland. So basically, all of our bodies are just out of whack, and because Gen Z was impacted during development, they're going to have more severe effects, just like because I have ADHD, my memory issues are due to the size of the way my hippocampus formed, which I can work on, but it's an uphill battle. So your hippocampus is your collagen production, which impacts like a massive part of your body. The skin is the largest organ on your body, your joints. I mean, I think we need to look into this. There's got to be research on this. This is what I think though. This is my hypothesis. So if I'm right, somebody should hire me because I need a job.
What's up with Gen Z looking so f***ing old?
Well, you know why, right?
I don't know, but they look older than us.
It's the blue light from the screens that they absorb.
Oh, because they grew up with cell phones.
Exactly.
And blue light ages you.
Prematurely.
You know NLE Chopper?
Yeah.
The rapper?
Yeah.
I just found this out today. He's 21 years old, and he looks older than me. I'm 31. Andy Milonakis is another millennial that looks really young.
He may have a condition, though.
No, he's just young.
He just looks young.
Forever young, would it be forever young?
Gen Z is gay and old.
You look good, man.
I'm a 40-year-old board-certified dermatologist, and is Gen Z aging faster than us, millennials? Because according to our friends in the New York Times, Gen Z believes they're aging like milk, and it's not a good thing. So let's first understand why that is. Number one, the demographic on social has been getting younger and younger and younger, and therefore, old has been getting younger and younger and younger too. So in their world, I'm ancient. Number two, they have been living through an era where social has been pushing self-care and skincare for a few years now. And given that they've had zero social interactions at the prime of their youth, they were slapping on skincare, inflaming their skin in the process. And the worst thing you could do for your skin in the long run is chronic inflammation. Because guess what? They were too young to ever need all that skincare. Number two, they never fully experienced an ugly duckling phase. And guess what? If you peak too early, there's only one way to go. We don't need to state it because it's pretty obvious. And last, they carry the weight of the world on their shoulders. Happy people age slower. Oh, sorry, this is last. And they started cosmetic injectables way too young. And they didn't need to be getting 4 syringes of fillers in their face when they were still fetuses inside the eggshell that hasn't even popped to develop into a little chickadee. So there you have it. Let me know if you need help or have any questions or comments in the comment section below.
I know exactly why Gen Z is aging faster than millennials. Most theories you're going to hear because of the blue light or skincare products they use. But no. It's because of their shit diets. And it's not their fault that they grew up on a ton of processed food because their millennial mothers never learned how to cook. Michael Irvin said it best. Roll the tape.
Oh my God, this is what's wrong with today. The young ladies today, they're not learning from mom how to cook. We're losing recipes.
We're losing recipes. Parents aren't cooking for their children like they used to. If you're in your mid-30s, you probably remember eating a home-cooked meal 6, if not 7 nights a week. Nowadays, kids are growing up on all this processed food like the Pop-Tarts, Frosted Flakes, you name it, and while they might be delicious, they're causing hormone imbalances, which is probably the reason why these kids are looking like they're in their mid-30s when they're only 22. But what do y'all think?
My current Roman Empire, and I've thought about this for a very long time, is the fact that Gen Z looks as old, if not older than us millennials, because they're doing Botox procedures and all these products at a much younger age than we started. I think it started a lot sooner than when we started doing Botox. There's a few things my mom never let me do at a young age that I think have a lot to do with how old I look now. For one, being she never let me get in a tanning bed. I may have gotten in a tanning bed 10 times up until I got to college. At a young age, I was never allowed in the tanning bed. Very, very adamant about sunscreen on my face. Number two is that she didn't let me wear makeup until about the 8th or 9th grade. To the point where I got in trouble for putting on some mascara in the 7th grade because my sister told on me. I had learned to wipe it off before I went back to my mom's classroom, but no, Lauren had to snitch. I wasn't even allowed to wear base makeup at that point. Like, I could wear some eyeshadow and mascara, and that was the extent of it. So really, I didn't even start wearing base, blush, whatever we wore back in the days. Till I was like 16 or 17, and I didn't always put it on either. So I think it has a lot to do with how early you're allowed to wear makeup too. Another like funny thing is I didn't start washing my face until I was like 27 or 28. I would wipe my makeup off with like the lovely alcohol Neutrogena face makeup remover. I'd scrub my little eyes makeup off, and that was the extent of it. You know, brush your teeth and head to bed. I didn't do this 10-step routine. I literally just took my makeup off until 28, and I was like, I should probably start doing something, you know, like 30's up around the corner. I should probably start just washing my face maybe. Got super into it, saw an esthetician, and it went downhill from there. Up until then, literally nothing was washed on this face. I probably had more consistent clear skin up until it's a whole other point, but I really think it starts with how young you put any kind of product on your face And that includes makeup. So maybe like don't let your 13-year-old do a full beat every single day. She will probably thank you later. I can tell you, pissed me off when my mom wouldn't let me wear makeup or go in the tanning bed. I'm thankful for it today. So do with that what you will, moms.
Apparently, Gen Z is like aging really rapidly.
It is mainly because of the stress. Come here. We live in a time nowadays where millennials look way younger for their age, while Gen Z looks way older for their age. If you don't believe me, I'm Gen Z. Get closer. I am Gen Z and nobody ever believes me. When my mom and I walk out in public, people think that my mom is my younger sister. Right? When I tell people, oh, I'm going to go hang out with my family, they think I'm talking about my children. I don't have kids, right? I'm talking about my parents. I'm still the child. Does that make sense? I'll put it to you like this. Zendaya is older than me. Tom Holland is older than me. That's, you know what I'm saying right now? There was one time I wanted an autograph from Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, right? I was standing for hours for this autograph, and when he walked up to me, I said, can you please sign this poster? It's for Jordan, right? He then took it and put, "Dear Jordan, your dad is a great guy. He stood out here for hours," and then gave it back to me. And before I can correct him, he looked at me and said, "Times were way more difficult back when we were kids, am I right?" And then he tapped my shoulder and left. Dwayne is 52. I am 26. What I'm saying is, so Gen Z definitely looks older. I'm not going to lie to you.
Why does Gen Z look older? Not everyone, we can't generalize because there's always going to be some outliers in our data. There's going to be some people who look much older, some people who look much younger, and that's in any generation. But overall, the running joke is that Gen Z looks a little older, like they look like they're millennials. A theory that I have that could totally be debunked, and I could be completely off base and wrong, but what I think is that when millennials were young, we didn't have vaping. I think vaping is much more addictive and much more prevalent, whether they want to admit it or not. And it scientifically ages you. It ages you much quicker. So anyone who's vaping, it came out fairly recent, not when I was young, but when Gen Z was young or, getting into adulthood, that's when it was more prevalent. You couple this with two things, primarily in women, I feel, I can't generalize again. When you get work done, plastic surgery, it makes you age a little bit, makes you look older. And I think that is a contributing factor to making you look older as well too. And for men, primarily men, can't generalize again. For men, it's steroids. It's a very big trend right now. I mean, fitness is a big trend. Everyone wants to look amazing, but at what cost? Like, you see the dudes who started on steroids 2 years ago, and you see them 2 years later, and it's just, they look like they aged 10 years. There may be a multitude of different factors that could contribute to this, but those are the things that I kind of see. And I'm in a very small bubble. I mean, I work from home. I see social media, and that's what I go based off of. I could be completely wrong and off base. It could just be something culturally. It could be something that, people take care of their skin better, can't grow facial hair, maybe different things. But for the most part, as a majority, I think that's what's contributing to Gen Z possibly looking older. Could be wrong. And I mean, not all millennials look young. So I'm not going to say that either as well. We look our age. Some of us look older. Some of us look younger. So
the reason why so many millennials look younger than they actually are is because when we were growing up, technology was not at all what it was like today. So we were much less isolated. We interacted with each other in person more. We were actively encouraged to play outside, which we were able to do because it was before climate change got really bad. We would use our imaginations to play. And our parents actively and consistently perpetuated this idea of the American dream and convinced all of us that we would be able to have the life that we wanted beyond a shadow of a doubt. And now that millennials are grown up and none of that is true anymore, I mean, you have kids playing on iPads, climate change is wreaking havoc on the world, society is basically one big dumpster fire, we're essentially living in idiocracy. We are all so unbelievably and increasingly isolated from each other. Millennials are desperately trying to hang on to any vestiges of youth and childhood that we possibly can. Meanwhile, so many Zoomers look older than they actually are because they grew up during this time where we were already becoming increasingly isolated from each other, where climate change was already a problem, where the economy was going down the crapper. They came into this world as it was becoming a dumpster fire, and as a result, they have grown up too quickly, literally aged by how horrific society is right now. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
So, this is just a quick question. Why is it that, everybody, did anybody, notice that, everyone is born in, the 90s, like to like 90 to like 90, like 8, we all look young. And all of the motherfuckers that's born in 2000s look old as shit. No shade to Gen Z or whatever. But have y'all ever noticed, it's like, why are you 22 looking like you Rick Ross? Like, why is it that you look like you 46 at the age of 19? I am 30. Yes, I'm 30. I did that. Look at this. So it's just like, why is it that all of like the younger people looking like they supposed to be our age? I just got a question for y'all. Like, that's just my question.
Have you noticed that Gen Z literally seems to be aging faster than millennials and Gen X? Take Kylie Jenner, a Zoomer who looks more mature than her actual age. Now compare her to Lindsay Lohan, a millennial who still looks youthful despite her past struggles. And let's not forget Salma Hayek from Gen X. At 57, she still looks fresh and vibrant. What's going on here? Research suggests that factors like stress, lifestyle choices, and screen exposure can actually accelerate aging. Gen Z has grown up under relentless social media pressure, which adds stress and can age them faster. Plus, with increased screen time, they're spending less time outdoors, directly impacting their skin health. Diet plays a crucial role too. Many young people today lean towards processed foods, missing out on essential nutrients that keep skin glowing. In contrast, millennials and Gen X have historically embraced diets that support better skin health. This is also where NR supplements come into play. They help counteract modern stress and poor nutrition by boosting energy and reducing signs of aging. By the way, you can easily find them on Amazon or the TikTok shop.
All right, I just had a thought. So remember that whole debate where they was talking about like millennials looking better than Gen Z and shit like that? Even though no bullshit, a lot of y'all look exactly what the fuck age y'all look like. But no bullshit, us as Gen Zs, we do look older than what we're actually probably supposed to look like. But I feel like a deeper conversation should be had with that. Because when you think about it, anytime a generation just looks overly older than what they're supposed to look like, that lets you know that the world is going to shit at that moment. Case in point, let's take it back to the Civil Rights Movement. All of them looked old as fuck. And that's not even me trying to be disrespectful to them, but they did look old. I mean, Fred Hampton was 21 when he was unalived. 21. If you don't know who Fred Hampton is, look him up. You're not going to tell me that looked like a 21-year-old. But obviously, when you have so much shit going on in the world and in your life, it's going to age you. And like during that time, it was a lot. So of course they looked older. All right, so let's take it to today's time. I'm going to take myself for example. I'm 26. I know, big shocker, right? However, now I became an adult in an era where the goalpost has been moved tremendously. Everything's super fucking expensive, from gas to apartments, from food, everything. Way of life right now is not livable how it was back in the day. You got niggas working 2 to 3 jobs for scraps. Like, even the 2 to 3 jobs is not doing what it's supposed to be done. You told us to get the degrees. We got the fucking degree. Only to try to apply for jobs for them to tell us now, oh, well, the degree don't matter. We care about experience. What experience is someone who's freshly coming out of college is supposed to get? And y'all talking about some 5 years of experience for an entry-level job. That's fucking insane. On top of that, the job market is shit. We're finding like crabs in a fucking barrel to get scraps. Older people, they're not leaving their jobs for whatever fucking reason. But then what do you expect us to get? Nothing. We're on our second term of Donald Trump being president. We had to go through a fucking pandemic. All this fucking political unrest. It's just like, what the fuck do you expect us to look like? All I'm saying is that we're stressed the fuck out, and it's like for obvious like severe reasons. And maybe instead of trying to make jokes about like how we look, you should look at that and try to see how we could fix that.
You want to know why Gen Z looks older than millennials? Honestly, that shouldn't even matter, because at the end of the day, we're all getting cooked unless we do something about it, because our world has changed. We don't live in the same world that millennials grew up in, that our parents or grandparents grew up in. So I'm going to tell you why these younger generations are aging faster than other generations. The first reason should be pretty obvious, but some people are still in denial that your food can't affect you that much, but it can. And the food that we ate growing up as kids is not made the same way as the food that Gen Z is eating now. Like, I ate fast food in high school almost every single day my junior and senior year, and me and my peers didn't experience any type of accelerated aging. And you're probably hearing of more younger people in Gen Z that are getting really bad gastrointestinal issues or other health issues compared to other generations. It's because there's more toxins in our food, which is causing our liver to be more sluggish. It has to work a lot harder to get out those toxins. Otherwise, it's going to cause dis-ease, accelerated aging, hair thinning, hair loss, just a slew of health issues. Second thing is these these younger generations are exposing themselves to more oxidative stress, which causes accelerated aging, which is primarily from heavy metals exposure. And these young kids are vaping at even younger ages. We didn't have this as millennials. We were told to stay away from cigarettes because the DARE program is so strong. Even though vapes are more undetectable, they're still inhaling heavy metals and exhaling them, and then it's getting in the air. And we're all getting exposed to it, but more so when you're inhaling it. But it's gotten a lot worse in general with everyone trying to be sustainable. So a lot of products are made out of aluminum, heavy metals, drinking out of aluminum cans, eating more out of metal-based products. It's really just wild. That's why we all need to drink heavy metal detox smoothies every day. Third, we're exposing ourselves to way more chemicals than we have in the past. Like, you're seeing little girls at 5 or 6 years old having a skincare routine, wearing some makeup. Millennials did not have a huge variety of products back then. And I didn't even start to wear makeup until I was like 13 or 14 years old. And even though there are cleaner products out there than what I had in the early 2000s and the 90s, they're just not popular among these younger kids. They want the ones that are full of fragrance, that are tested on animals because they're sold at Nordstrom, other high-end stores like Saks Fifth Avenue, Sephora, all because of marketing, and these brands have bigger budgets. But these chemical-laden products that these younger kids are using, they contain endocrine disrupting chemicals that are really harmful to your health. So yeah, of course you're gonna have more toxins, your liver's gonna be sluggish, it's gonna affect the quality of your skin, your hair, your nails, just your overall health. I'm running out of time, but this is what I want to cover for now, so make sure to like and follow for part 2.
Millennials look younger than who?
I don't think millennials really look younger. I think for the most part we look good to be the age that we are. I will say that. We aging gracefully. I just think that Generation Z is aging faster, if that makes sense. So it looks like we almost like in the same age category. Like a lot of y'all in y'all like 20s look like y'all almost like in y'all mid to late 30s. I think that's what it is. Living fast, hard, rough, social media, trying to keep up with the Joneses is aging y'all really quickly, if you ask me. I think y'all get offended when people speak on it, but y'all do be trying to call people old. But the truth of the matter is we look the same age. I think that's the point of it. I'm 37, about to be 38, and I know I look my age. And I'm perfectly fine with that.
Y'all, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I am Gen Z, and I can admit that a lot of people in my generation look way older than what they actually are. And I'm honestly trying to figure out why this is happening, but I shouldn't be looking at somebody who was born in 2004 looking like they're 28. Like, what is going on? Are y'all drinking too much? Like, are y'all not taking care of your body? Does nobody, like, care about their health anymore? What is going on? Who else noticed this? Like, I'm gonna be real, Gen Z, a lot of us ain't looking our best, far as we're not looking our age. And I'm gonna just say that, simple as that.
There's this big trend going on right now talking about how Gen Z looks way older than millennials. And people are like, oh, it's because Gen Z, they overdid it with the skincare. They wrecked their skin. They've done all this stuff. They look like aged organic avocados that you looked at and got scared and died. It's not that. You know what it is? Millennials are made of microplastics. Millennials are 100% microplastic. We grew up eating Lunchables. Lunchables aren't food. Lunchables are a series of food-scented plastic in different little shapes. And then we stacked it on top of each other and then we ate it between lip smackers and body glitter. We are 98% plastic and like 2% water. That's what millennials are made of. So plastic doesn't age. Don't take it personally, Gen Z. It's just that you have been eating organic and had a granola mom, so you're gonna shrivel. It is what it is.
Such a random thought, and I wanted to get it out there, but I know that I'm not the only person who notices that the younger generation looks significantly older than they actually are, right? There's been a whole bunch of discourse around this, and not only do they look significantly older, but they are getting work done at an earlier age, right? Both men and women. They are the generation that's really spearheading this looks maxing movement, right? They're taking things out, they're putting things in, like they're getting facelifts at 26, like they're doing the craziest things. And we're giving them advice like, oh, wait until your grown woman body comes in. You don't got to do all of that. Wait until you have all your kids. Wait. And it hit me, right? That the reason that they're most likely exhibiting these behaviors is because number one, they're the most ageist generation, right? They are terrified of aging. They think like 25 is where it all ends, 30 max. But you've got to realize that they are the first generation that grew up in a world that didn't look like there was even going to be a future for them to have to wait to do these things. Does that make sense? As a millennial myself, I was raised in a world that felt like there was a future for me, right? I will be able to do these things later because there was a future that had later in them. But you're telling them, wait until you have kids. In their mind, I'm most likely never going to have kids because the way the world looks, it's probably going to end before the time for me to do that, right? And so they're getting things out the way and doing everything now because it's really, there's no more time. We don't have a future. We don't see a future. So we're going to pack everything that was supposed to look like a 10, 15, 20-year period in 5. Does that make sense?
I think the reason that Gen Z looks so much older than the millennials did at that age is because they are dressing in our parents' styles in like an aggressive way. Like there are these like mule clog shoes that I've seen so many.
I had those. Okay, are you talking about the Birkenstock type ones?
So that not even.
Or are you talking about the actual like mules?
Like the mules, like the slide on mules.
Okay.
And like my grandmother literally had those. And then she would have like the trouser pants and this polyester top. And I'm seeing these cute little like 20 something girlies wear it and they look adorable. And I'm like, that's because you're 20 though. So you can do that. Right. If I did that, I would not look adorable. I would look like really old and weird. And like, it is the struggle.
So I recently read an article about why Gen Z kids are looking more adult and older than millennials. And the article said that one of the biggest reasons is because they were doing like little touch-ups and Botox early in their 20s. Millennials weren't doing it. If they are doing it, weren't doing it until their late 30s. And that they're also using skincare that's not necessarily meant for their skin starting at a young age. So I'm a millennial, I'm 40. And I went to a really large school. Like my graduating class was like 700 or something. And I remember in middle school, that's when we started to get into this stuff in 7th grade. Do you know what we started with? A CoverGirl compact. Lip smackers and the glossy roll-ons. The ones that smell like cheap strawberries. Maybe mascara, maybe. And for skincare, we just use soap and water. Maybe Clearasil. And if we had a zit, we put rubbing alcohol on that. Or toothpaste. So it's making me wonder. I'm seeing all these Sephora girls at 10 years old putting retinol and drunk elephant on their face. If Gen Z is looking older than millennials because they're starting too early, what is Gen Alpha gonna look like when they get 40? Because even the dermatologists are getting on here and being like, yo, stop putting that on your face. You're gonna break out. It's gonna cause damage. So what are they gonna look like?
So I just watched a video and the lady said that the younger generation is looking quite older than what they normally or what they naturally are. And I'm going to be honest, it's very much true. And why? The internet. Y'all get on Instagram, y'all get on here on TikTok, and y'all be seeing people look aesthetically pleasing. But let me tell y'all, you have to learn to love yourself. You have to learn to love your natural body. Y'all are literally in a rush to go get your teeth done. You're in a rush to get lip fillers. You're in a rush to get a BBL. You're in a rush to get lipo. You're just in a rush. You're moving so fast that you're not really enjoying your life. You're ready to look like an Instagram baddie because y'all think that them pictures are popping. But baby, you need to see them in real life. You really do. Some of them do not look the same as they do in real life. And some of them look crazy. So instead of idolizing someone and really wanting to be like that person, it's okay to love you first. You might not have the biggest boobs. You might not have the fattest ass. But, baby, you have to learn to love yourself first before you can do anything. Y'all are literally looking so much older because them lace fronts got y'all thinking that you need to be 16 with a lace front. Fuck 16. Some of y'all are even younger with a whole lace front on. And it's the internet got y'all gassed up thinking that you can't wear your natural hair or you can't wear box braids or you can't wear knotless. And y'all don't know that because y'all are so impressed by what the internet is doing. Like some of y'all favorite Instagram baddies got y'all mind so warped that y'all are forgetting that you need to be living in reality. You are looking 30 when you're only 18. Baby, that's not a compliment. I just pray that this aesthetic of being a baddie is stopped. I really pray that it is, because you're beautiful just the way you are. And I hope that you embrace it. And I hope that you know that. And don't let nobody else ever tell you different.